what Joe's done in his book is he's kind of taken us back on a bit of history, and sometimes you need to look backwards to see what has happened before to understand where you're going to be going in the future. The importance of closure experiences. Why are we talking about this now? Society's changing. People are far more aware now of their impact within society, to the environment, the world, and by people I mean people and organisations. So the interplay between what we do as consumers and how companies serve us as consumers is creating a negative loop. And what Joe's book does is it talks us through the history of how we got here, and also talks to the future that we're going to need to create, and probably create together between consumers and businesses.
So there are those of us that design experiences, and what we do is we spend so much attention looking at that onboarding, that initial, all of the catching them at the early stage part of the experience. And it takes someone like Joe to go, hang on a minute, we haven't been looking at this part. And it's that part and the fact that the contribution that part makes to the whole experience that is really precious about what he's doing. So it's a huge part of the sustainability debate and issues, because we need to be able to know what happens next.
What does a sense of ending mean when you're in the financial services? I'm working in the financial services, and we celebrate the beginnings of things. We celebrate you having a mortgage, you taking a loan, you opening an account. And then we forget to celebrate the things that go right through your life. And your financial affairs are your life. You're planning for your future, for your children, for your own health, for your parents, and understanding these big decisions and giving you a sense of closure at the end. And our conversations with Joe helped me understand that these things were important, and we've changed the way we look and understand now that beginning, middle and end are big financial decisions that are in fact all our life's moments.
One of the most important aspects of Joe's book for me is its link to sustainability, and the fact that as designers we can't really afford to design products that are not sustainable anymore. And we can't design sustainable products without thinking about the end of life of those products. So I think it's a very timely book and a very important one.
I think Joe is exactly right with the observation that nobody really cares that much about this end of the user journey or the kind of customer life cycle. So I think he's identified something that is actually completely overlooked.
So about 15 years ago, I used to work at Orange, and like most mobile phone operators, we had issues with customers coming to the end of their contract and just leaving us. Around about the same time, we started working with Joe, and he had this idea of doing a project on closure experiences. It's fantastic that one little idea that Joe had back then has turned into this massive thing that has the potential to impact so many different parts of consumer society and the way that we design things.
An aspect of the Ends book that I really like is the way in which Joe has come to this afresh, not being familiar with publishing, and kind of invented the process of writing, designing and making a book, and made that very public through Facebook and other media. He has engaged his potential audience and his peers in the creation of the book and helping them to understand what it takes to write a book, and he's inventing what design publishing could be in a new way.
I think if you have any interest in the future of sustainable design, this is a book that you need to read. I think you'll find this book very inspiring and thought-provoking for the depth that Joe goes to and the way in which he makes it simple for us to think about this for the future.